Hey everyone, this is Ieasha of Decor and Designs by Ieasha, and welcome back to my channel. Well, today I am coming on here because I want to talk to you wedding tables and how to choose one. Today I want to just talk to you about wedding tables and the different wedding tables that are out there. All right, so I'm sure that majority of us have been to weddings and we have seen different weddings, different tables set up at weddings. You see rectangular tables, you see square tables, you may see round tables, and I also found another type of table that I did not even know exist until I had to go and look it up. And once I looked it up, I realized what type of table it was. All right, so I went and did a little research, and I have some things written down here on my paper. And so for the rest of this month, which is August, into next month, and like I said, for you know, some other videos that I will be having here, my main concentration will be about weddings and wedding setups. All right, so first of all, I just want to give you some tips about different type of tables that you can have set up as at a wedding. And I'm going to be putting some pictures. It's going to be on this side or maybe this side for you to look at, so that you can see, as I tell you about the tables, you can see the tables that, you know, I'm talking about. An example. All right, so the first table I'm going to be talking about are round tables. Now, we all know that round tables are really the most popular tables for a wedding. Okay, so these are the most popular wedding reception tables as they fit any room style and decor. There are circular round tables are great options for receptions. Okay, so the standard round table is a 60-inch and a 72-inch size. And they're usually readily available and can fit between 8 to 10 guests comfortably. All right, so I'm going to be putting right here a picture of a round table, and it's going to be decorated for a wedding. All right, so in order to sit your guests here comfortably, you can sit between 8 to 10 guests. All right, now that's the larger standard size. All right, so you also have the smaller size round table, which is a 36-inch table, and also you have a 46-inch size round table that fit. It says between 2 to 6 guests, and I got this information from CV Linens. That size in 2 to 6 people comfortably, right? But it's up to you. It's up to the bride on what they want to do. Some people like to have more guests. Some people like to have less guests, especially during, you know, this time with everything that's going on. And since 2020, more intimate weddings and things like that's been going on. Okay, that's been happening. So whether you're considering an indoor or outdoor reception, round tables are great options for creating a family style look, especially when shorter floral arrangements are going to be used. So we're going to be talking about floral arrangements a little bit here, especially about with the round tables and decorating the tables. So if you have a round table and you have a smaller floral setup, then you know that you can see the person across from you. You can pretty much have a better conversation, so that you won't have the tall centerpieces, fluorescent, especially they have flowers on the fluorescent centerpieces blocking you know, conversation. All right, so that's one option also. And then some people, they still opt for a taller floral centerpiece. It just depends on what looks good and what the bride wants. All right. All right, so the next table I'm going to be talking about is a rectangular table. And again, I'm going to be putting a picture here that will show you what a rectangular table looks like. All right, so rectangular tables are the tables that I decorate on a lot. Especially the ones I decorate. When I decorate in my dining room, that's a rectangular table. And it's also called a banquet table. Now, rectangular tables are great for both a popular option for outdoor and indoor receptions, as they create an extravagant look. All right. With various lengths to choose from, these tables can sit between 4 to 10 guests at a time, depending on how intimate you want each table to be. All right, so just say you have a rectangular table. You may have 3 guests sitting on one side and 3 guests sitting on the other side. So that's 6 people, okay? But it's across from each other. So they still can conversate or whatever it is that they want to do. Now, some people have rectangular tables and they only allow people to sit on one side. Okay, so that's an option also at a wedding. That's how we, when I got married, my husband and I, we had a rectangular table at the reception, and everyone's side was sitting on one side. All right, we didn't have a sweetheart table, which I'm going to be talking about next. We didn't have a sweetheart table. We had a rectangular table. My husband and I, we sat at the same table as our bridesmaids, and our parents. I think our parents sat at the same table we did, or if not, they had a round table that they sat at beside us, because I think we had to get up to go over there. All right, but it was us and our wedding party that was sitting at one table, but everything was nice. All right, so a rectangular table is another option. It's a great option. All right, so using the oversized rectangular table helps with following social distancing protocols that, you know, was in place, and in some places still in place. All right, it also creates more space for table runners. If you would like to put a table runner on your table, charger plates, glassware, and other items that may be placed on your table for the wedding. With shorter floor arrangements, guests can interact with each other since there are no blockage, okay? So also with rectangular tables, you can also still opt for shorter floor arrangements, and actually, whereas the round table, more or less you will have one floor centerpiece or one centerpiece that's in the middle of the table, since it's a round table. But if you have a rectangular table, you actually can have between 2 to 3 flower arrangements, okay, depending on how long the table is and depending on how many people are sitting at the table. All right, so that's another option. Also, that's a great option. All right, so also if the reception is an intimate one with only a few wedding party guests, the bride and the groom can add a table to join the rectangular tables, which even makes the party more interesting, because the bride and the groom are sitting with the guests. And like I said, when me and my husband got married, that's what we opt for. Okay, we sat with our wedding party. Okay. All right, so the next table I'm going to be talking about is a really, really popular table that a lot of people opt for now, and that's the sweetheart table. The sweetheart table is where the bride and the groom sit and have their meal. All right, so these are smaller size tables that could be round, they could be rectangular, or they could be square. It just depends on what tables are available at the venue or what the bride wants. Okay, and it's just for the bride and the groom. Once the vows are exchanged, they can be seated at this head table to give them some privacy on their big day and to just be able to share that special time together. All right, because when you go to a wedding and they have the sweetheart table, you notice that the bride and the groom are the only ones who sit at this table. It's decorated, may have a Mr. and Mrs. sign in front of it. I'm going to link in the description box, in the card section right here, a sweetheart table that I did. Okay, and yeah, so the decorations are a little different from all the other decorations sometimes, and sometimes it may be the same. But most times they have a Mr. and Mrs. sign in front of it, you know, in front of the table where the sweetheart table where the bride and groom is sitting. All right. The sweetheart table is usually placed facing the guests, okay? So you don't really want to place a sweetheart table facing the opposite from the guests. You know, you don't want the bride and the groom's back to be toward the guest, because most time you see the bride and groom, the sweetheart table is facing their guests. And that is to just, you know, to just show them respect and show them love, because they actually came to the wedding and they want to see the bride and groom. All right. The sweetheart table is usually placed facing the guests, thereby making the couple's table a focal point of the room. So a lot of times when you see the sweetheart table is it's not really in the middle, but it's not all the way in the back. All right. At least the weddings that I've been to. Okay. They're kind of like the focal point, like, it's not really in the middle, but it's close to the middle, okay? It's around where the guests will be. It's not too far away from the guests, so that if the bride and groom want to get up, they don't have too far to walk to get to their guests or to mingle with the people who came to celebrate the wedding, okay? Or celebrate them. All right, so the next table I'm going to be talking about are square tables. All right. Square tables are great for intimate and cozy wedding receptions as it follows a small group of guests at each table. All right. So a square table, I'm going to be putting a picture up of a square table, and the square table is not really big. That's why it's mostly used for intimate or cozy weddings. Okay. Because it's just a small group of people who can fit there. All right. So that's one option also. And with the larger surface area, square tables allow larger floor arrangements or centerpieces without disrupting conversation among guests. All right, because it's square, and more than less, you may have maybe 2 to 3 people, maybe 4. It just depends on how intimate you want it. But I'm thinking it's going to be more of a 2 people, maybe on one of the sides, or it can be one on one side and one on the other. It just depends on how many people, guests that you have at the wedding, okay, or the event. All right, so the next table is one that I have never heard of before. I've never heard of this name, but I did go and do some research on it. And once I looked at it, I was like, I've seen these tables before. So it's called the Serpentine Tables. It's Serpentine. It's actually a table that is it's curved. All right, it's a curved table, very, very pretty, and they are great for outdoor wedding receptions as the tables are long and curved to create a bold statement. It will actually become a focal point because most time they're in the center of the venue, okay, because of the curved shape that they have. All right. So if you have a short guest list, serpentine tables are great options as they are large enough to fit all guests at an intimate wedding. Now, the serpentine tables that I found as I was doing my research, they are curved, like I said, but they can fit a number of guests. So the next one I have is mix and match tables. Now, you may have seen at some weddings that they may have rectangular tables, they may have round tables, they may have square tables, they may have different tables, but the most popular I've seen are the rectangular tables mixed with the round tables. Because we had that at our wedding reception with me and my husband. All right, and so you can spice up the reception's atmosphere by mixing tables of varying shapes and sizes to create a more refined and unique look. All right, you can mix rectangular tables with square tables or even arrange the tables in a custom and creative style. So it's totally up to you how you want to do it. Totally up to the bride. All right, like I said, we opt for that because our parents thought at the round table. We was sitting at the rectangular table, my husband, myself, and our wedding party. Okay, and our wedding party consisted of, I think I had 6 bridesmaids, and we had 5 groomsmen and the best man. Or my husband had 2 best men, I think. Okay, so yeah, and it was absolutely amazing. It was gorgeous, and we loved it. All right, and yeah, so make sure Okay, so the main thing that you need to make sure, the wedding planner, the event planner needs to make sure, as well as the event decorator, you need to know how many guests will be attending the wedding, because you want to make sure that you have enough tables, whether if you're using the round tables, rectangular tables, the serpentine tables, whatever tables you're using, you want to make sure that you have enough tables to sit the guests, as well as the chairs. Okay, we can't forget about the chairs. Have enough to accommodate the guests that will be at your wedding. All right, so I hope this helped everyone out, as well as the pictures that I have linked here. All right, everyone, so I have brought to you some tips on tables that you can use for wedding receptions, and the different seating arrangements that you can have at these different tables that I have shown you. If you have any questions, make sure you leave me a comment in the comment section. I do go and read your comments. And yeah, so thank you all so very much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you will be the first to know when I upload new videos. All right, so I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.